What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Getting Technical Podcast. I'm joined by Raleigh and Sam yet again. What's going on, y'all?
Chilling, dog. What's going
good?
on?
Chilling. We're back for episode 3. This is going to be our first episode of football.
Yes, sir.
So, we could jump right into it. Obviously, the NFL season is approaching, and preseason has just got underway. And, a lot of rumors and news has been coming out from training camps, and so I think it would be cool for us to start with our division winners for the year and kind of predict how we foresee the season playing out. So I'll start with mine. We can go NFC, and then everyone go, and then we'll work our way around. So
sure.
In the NFC East, I got the New York Giants. The NFC West, I have the Los Angeles Rams. NFC North, I have the Minnesota Vikings. And to finish up with the South, obviously, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tough.
Giants in the East?
Yeah, I really just think Brian Dable's going to come in and make some real changes. I'm not comparing Daniel Jones to Josh Allen, but he is a 6'5", mobile quarterback that does have a pretty strong arm. And I do think Saquon is going to be an X factor this year. He looks healthy in training camp, and all the reports are coming back. So I think they're going to be really good this year, and I think Dable is going to do a tremendous job implementing Tony into that offense because that guy's super dynamic, and Judge did not know how to use him last year.
They did not use him right last year. I agree. I don't have them winning the NFC East, but I think Dable's really good.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think they'll improve definitely. I just think, especially from the first preseason game, I don't know if you saw this, but Kenny Golladay was not running hard on any of his routes.
Yeah.
He was kind of laming it up the entire time. But I definitely agree, Saquon Barkley, if he could stay healthy, he could easily be a top 5 running back in the league. The question is Daniel Jones, so that'll be the biggest question for the Giants this year, is finding out if he's actually the guy that they can build their team around and get the franchise going again. But
this is his last year. This is really his last year to prove something. They don't have to pay him next year.
Yeah.
As a Giants fan, I'm happy. Where it's like, all right, this is it. Like, if this isn't it, see you later. We'll rock out with Tyrod Taylor for a year or two until we can draft a quarterback, and I'm fine with that because the only reason he got drafted because Gettleman had no idea what he was doing, and he went solely off the word of Eli Manning, who they shared the same quarterback coach.
Exactly,
and Eli was a huge fan. But, like, even in that year, in that draft, Jones was like maybe the 6th or 7th best quarterback in that draft
and he went 6th
class.
overall.
Yeah, which is insane.
he looked good, like as a rookie though. Everyone's like, they were calling him Danny Dimes, all this stuff. So I'm not like fully out on him yet. I don't think he's the guy, but
he's also
be interesting this year.
He's also been in 3 coaches in 4 years.
Yeah, he hasn't
different
been set
offensive
up to succeed
coordinators.
at all.
Yeah,
it's like the Jets with Darnold probably at this point probably would have been bad regardless, but he was set up to fail. And then you see guys like Josh Allen, who they set him up to succeed. Like he had good coaching. They traded for Diggs. They had a good run game. They had a good defense. Everything about them was built for him to succeed.
Yeah, the Jets over the last 7 years, it really was solely like their lack of being able to succeed was solely based off of Mike McCagnon being the GM of that team and absolutely destroying the franchise with the moves that he made, the decisions that he decided to do. And on top of it, Adam Gase is easily the worst coach in Jets franchise history. The dude can't even be a high school coach at this point. He ruined Sam Darnold. He doesn't know how to call an offense. All of his success was purely based off of Peyton Manning. And really, Peyton calls his own plays. So what the fuck did he actually do, Right. But to move on, I'll give you guys my NFC. I don't want to talk about the Jets right now. NFC for the East, I actually got the Cowboys. I think they're the most complete team in that division right now, and I think they have a better. I was gonna say a better coach because I don't really like Mike McCarthy, but I think he's at least more proven right now than Brian Dable because we haven't seen Dable as a head coach yet.
Yeah.
For the North, I got the Vikings as well. For the West, I also have the Rams, and the South is also the Bucs. The South is easily the worst division in the NFC, which is tough to say with how the East looks this year, but I really can't see anybody dethroning the Bucs anytime soon, as long as Tom Brady's there, obviously.
Yeah. I think the Saints are going to surprise some people this year, though.
I think it all depends on Jameis.
I mean, bro, he has some weapons. You got to think, last year his number one option was Marquez Callaway. Now he has a healthy Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, who looks pretty promising, Jarvis Landry, Kamara's back 100%. They have some weapons on offense, and I mean, I think they could shock a few people. I wouldn't be surprised if they split with Tampa Bay this year.
They definitely can. I think it's definitely something that they got to worry about. Especially they brought back Mark Ingram, which I thought is good for as a backup for Alvin Kamara. But Jameis, he just has so many up and downs. He's so inconsistent. I just don't know if obviously he got the eye surgery and everything, and his preseason workout videos are hilarious to watch, but he just hasn't shown why he was the number 1 overall pick,
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, my NFC, I got the Cowboys in the East, Packers in the North, Bucks in the South, and then I'm going to go Rams in the West.
Yeah.
I think, the East, I think, could be a toss-up. Like you said, the Giants have a chance. I think the Eagles do as well, and even the Redskins. Like, that division is like...
The Commanders.
Oh, sorry.
3 episodes in, canceled. Just end it now. End it now.
I'll always call it. I always say Redskins, and then I just catch. I liked football team.
I liked the football team, too.
Football
They
team was
kept it at
dope.
football team.
It was definitely...
Cool.
I mean, I think we just kind of got, like, used to it at this point, but, like, Commanders was definitely not the way to go.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
Brutal, but... Yeah, I think that division is going to be close, but I just think Dak and them they're the most proven team right now.
Yeah.
I'm still with the North. I'm going with the Packers just because of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I could see the Vikings doing a little. I don't know, Kirk Cousins.
It's
Kirk.
really hard to put a lot of trust in
But
Kirk.
they got so much talent on that team outside of him.
Yeah, but
Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson.
exactly, Thielen.
You just don't know if Alan Lazard is that guy though in Green Bay.
Yeah,
That's the thing. I'm saying, like, for me, it's like right now I'm just gonna go
By
with
default,
Aaron Rodgers.
right, by
yeah,
default,
because
yeah.
he's Aaron Rodgers.
You got it. Yeah,
they
you got to
lost
beat the
Valdez
guy.
Scantling too.
Yes, they
Yeah,
did, so.
it's gonna be shaky, but
They
he's
drafted Christian
proven-
Watson, who I thought was really good. I thought he's a good replacement for Valdez Scantling. He does a lot of similar things, but in a bigger body. But he's coming out of North Dakota State, same place as Carson Wentz, but not a lot of competition up there.
Yeah, and then like you guys said, the South, it's definitely the Bucks. The Saints can maybe make some noise. It really depends on Jameis, how healthy he is, and also with Michael Thomas, like he just hasn't been able to stay on the field.
Yeah.
So if he can, which is a big if.
Are we completely out on Carolina with Baker and McCaffrey and DJ
bro.
Moore?
I mean,
I like them a lot, but I think Baker was he was playing hurt last year, right?
yeah, I think
The
he had a
entire
torn shoulder
I'm
labrum.
a Baker fan. Like I think Baker is good.
I'm
I don't.
so unsure about Baker.
I'm
But I
unsure-
think that if McCaffrey can stay healthy, it's another if guy. Like there's a few if guys in that whole division.
Yeah.
The best players in that division.
Yeah, it's a big thing about McCaffrey, but the thing is with Baker, he had so much talent going for him, surrounded by him in Cleveland. Odell, Jarvis, Njoku, Chubb, Kareem Hunt. The offensive line is the top 5 in the league. Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year candidate. That secondary is loaded with top-end talent, top
Denzel
blue-chip
Ward,
talent.
yeah.
Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit. I mean, the list goes on and on for them, and I think it's just... It's tough when he has to downgrade with talent surrounded by him, coming off of a shoulder surgery, with a quarterback sitting behind him, not having a Christian McCaffrey that you could probably rely on for 16 whole games, and you have to learn a brand new playbook. Yeah. So it's tough. So, and the offensive line for Carolina is nowhere close as good as Cleveland. So, I just think it's tough. And they also drafted I think they drafted Matt Corral out of Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that there's just so much going on in that team, and I think they're really just trying everybody out. Like the first preseason game, Baker started, so obviously that means that he proved something during camp, but it's just I just can't see them having much success in that division.
I don't know. I think like a bold prediction for I think like Baker could win like comeback player of the year this year. I think Baker's going to shock a lot of people.
If he was going to do it, it'd be with McCaffrey.
I mean, bro, McCaffrey, DJ Moore,
yeah.
Robbie Anderson. I mean, bro, they got some pieces. Their defense is not bad. You got Brian Burns. You got
Derek Brown.
Who's the corner they drafted?
Did they have Gilmore still, or did he?
I don't know if Stephon Gilmore is still there, but the corner that you're talking about, They drafted him high. It was like
he was good.
He was like a top 10. Oh, J.C. Horn out of
Yes,
South
J.C.
Carolina.
Horn. He's like 6'3". So they have some pieces to work with. They're not in a tough division. They can beat Atlanta twice. They could give the Saints a run for their money. And I don't think they'll beat the Bucs, but depending on how their schedule looks, Baker is not bad. The year before he got hurt, he threw for like 4,200 yards, 27 touchdowns, 14 picks, and he took the Browns to the first playoffs in however many years.
20 years, something like that.
So I don't think people writing him off so soon. When he played, he tried to do right for the organization and play hurt and show toughness, and then they just kicked him out the door.
Yeah.
That's what happens in sports, right? We were talking about this in the last episode.
What have you done for me
Thomas
lately? Yeah.
It's
but whatever.
Don't matter.
All right, so we'll move on to the AFC. So AFC East, I have the Buffalo Bills. I think that's a lock for that division. The South, I have the Colts. I think Matt Ryan's going to do really well with JT and Michael Pittman. In the West, I think the Chiefs are going to win that division. I just really think Patrick Mahomes is going to take a jump this year. I think last year...
Jump from what? He's going to be...
No, because last year...
Extra MVP?
I feel like last year, a lot of people, he had a few hiccups during the year, and they'd be like, he's reckless, and they were kind of like, he has like a little Brett Favre in him and stuff like that. But Patrick Mahomes is special, and I think Denver's going to need some time to figure it out with Wilson, and the Raiders should be really good, but it's also, Derek Carr is the fourth best quarterback in that division, and I think it's going to be between the Chiefs and the Chargers, but I think the Chiefs will win. And then in the North, I have the Ravens. I think with Lamar coming back healthy, J.K. Dobbins being healthy, yes, they lost Hollywood, but I think Mark Andrews is going to have another great year. Rashad Bateman looks pretty good. And their defense is, not bad. Defense is, I'd say, a top 15 defense in the NFL for sure.
I would probably go a little higher than that, to be honest. I would say top 10 for them.
Yeah.
I just think that... For me, I agree with the Bills and the Colts. I'm high on the Chargers this year. I think adding J.C. Jackson, adding Khalil Mack, Justin Herbert coming into another year of just being an all-pro and doing what everybody expected him to do when he was drafted that high. I think that losing Tyreek Hill is going to be a big loss for the Chiefs. Yeah. So, and we already seen them kind of get into shootouts and everything. And when you lose that top guy and you replace him with Sky Moore, who's a good guy, he's a solid piece to draft, but he's unproven, obviously, and Mecole Hardman isn't going to step up to the plate, I don't think. But I could definitely see them still making the playoffs. I'm not going to say that they're going to be a top 10 pick or anything, but I think the Chargers just all around are the best team in that division. And the North, I got the Bengals. Yeah, I think that, look, they went to the Super Bowl last year. They have something to build off of. I understand that there's some things called as a Super Bowl hangover and everything, but they beefed up the offensive line. They added Lyle Collins. They added somebody else on the offensive line. I forgot who exactly, but they like I said, they beefed up the offensive line. Joe Mixon's going to be able to run, be more of a run-heavy offense, so you don't have to rely on Jamar Chase getting 16, 20-yard receptions and leading the league and breaking all these records. You can become a more well-rounded offense. That's for me. That's the reason why I got the Bengals. But again, I agree with you on the Bills and the Colts.
Cool. Word. AFC East, I got the Bills, obviously. North, I got the Bengals. South, I'm gonna go Titans. I think it's gonna be close with them and the Colts, but I like the coaching staff for the Titans. I trust Tannehill. I trust Derrick Henry, and I still want to see it from the Colts. In the West, I got the Chargers. I think it's going to be close. I think that's probably the best division in all of football, no?
By far.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
This might be one of the best divisions in the last 20 years.
Exactly. Like, every team, like, you could make a case for all of these teams. Like, they have the potential to make a Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really do.
All stacked. So, yeah, the East, I think, is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
The Bills are just, like, they got Josh Allen. They got arguably the best quarterback in the entire league.
I would not be surprised if the Dolphins snuck into the playoffs this year, though.
It just
at
comes
like
down
10
to Tua, right?
10-7, yeah. I could see them making something happen. Their defense is really good. Tua is more of a game manager. He's not going to kill you over the top, but I think him and Tyreek Hill might be a really good duo.
I mean, they got Waddle. Like, he is like top 10 receiver talent. Maybe even top 5 talent. Like, he's
really good.
Wild last year. So they could have the best. There's a chance that they could have the best duo for receivers in the league.
Yeah, I mean, if you
It's
look
tough.
at
Waddle
Tyreek
was
Hill,
really good last year.
He
Tyreek
was,
Hill's
but he's
top
gonna
5
take
receiver.
Yeah, but Hill's going to take so many targets away. Gesicki's a very good tight end.
Yeah.
Waddle is he can get his. I mean, he could take a 2-yard catch and take it for 80 yards for a touchdown. But they also have a loaded backfield with. I mean, I forget how many people they have, but they have
Chase Edmonds. They got
Raheem
Mostert.
Mostert.
Yeah.
And
They have plenty of guys back
I
there.
think they got what's his name too.
What team was he on?
I forgot.
Is Gaskin still on the team?
I would think so.
I think
He was a fantasy.
I'm pretty
letdown
sure.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
God.
for me, like, I could definitely see them making the playoffs. I mean, it's just gonna be tough. I mean, the AFC North probably has 3 teams that could arguably make it. Like, did you see the stats for the Steelers quarterbacks in their
No.
preseason game?
No.
It was actually disgusting. All of them had like above like a 75% completion percentage. All of them threw touchdowns. Pickett, Trubisky, and Mason Rudolph. So if you got those 3 teams in the North, you have any of the 4 teams in the West can make
That's
the playoffs. And I'm not too high on the Titans this year. I think losing A.J. Brown and replacing him with Treylon Burks is going to hurt. And obviously you lose Julio Jones, who didn't really do much. But Tannehill did not look good in that playoff game.
I think he
And-
loses his job this year. I
Yeah, if
think
he
Willis
does-
comes in by week 8 and takes his job.
Yeah, definitely. And to be honest, it might not be solely because of his play. If Derrick Henry obviously regresses, I mean, you carry the ball so much. You're such a physical running back.
Yeah.
He's a big guy. I think it's tough to kind of maintain that level of play. So I could see them falling off and going over to Willis, but he might have a good first 2-3 weeks, like how Daniel Jones did. He had that good first showing against the Bucs, and he did all this, and he played a good couple weeks, and then rookie slumps catch up to you, and things happen. So I just think it's tough when you have a guy like Matt Ryan coming into the Colts organization who's run very well, top offensive line, Jonathan Taylor, offensive player of the year, or should have been. I just can't see the Titans really doing much this year.
To keep it quick before we go into the next segment, do you guys think Trubisky is a starter for the Steelers this year?
Yeah.
Are you in on
I think he starts week 1. I'm not a Trubisky fan, but I think he starts week 1.
I think it's
kinda
solely based off what happens in the preseason. I think Kenny Pickett could win it. Let me pull up the stats because they posted it on Twitter and it was kind of nuts. The stats that came out: Pickett was 13 of 15 for 95 yards and 2 TDs. Mason Rudolph 9 for 15, 93 yards and a touchdown, and Mitch Trubisky 4 for 7, 63 yards and a touchdown. So all of them had great showings. Obviously, did what they had to do with the limited snaps that they all took.
Yeah.
So I think it'll come down to the very last preseason game, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe even upper management just comes in and says, "Hey, we drafted Kenny Pickett, a high pick. We expect big things from him. Let's just give it to him now. He's proven that he's good enough. So we'll see."
And all those guys have a chip on their shoulder. They got something to prove.
Yeah,
People were doubting Kenny Pickett. He got drafted high, but a lot of scouts are like his hands are too small, all these things. But it's a bunch of guys that have a lot to prove, so it should be interesting.
Yeah.
You guys want to get into Super Bowl predictions?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Give yours.
Mine is Bills Bucks. I got the Bills winning. I'm going all in on Josh Allen and the Bills this year. I just think, especially after last year, they came so close, and I just think he's gonna be the MVP this year, and I think they're gonna have a crazy year. They added Von Miller. The team is just stacked.
Yeah.
So that's my pick.
Yeah, for me, I got the Chargers and the Rams. Like I said before, I'm high on the Chargers this year. They're loaded on offense, loaded on defense. I think Herbert could win MVP. I think Staley could win Coach of the Year. And the Rams, they got talent from top to bottom. They've already seen what they can do when they get to a Super Bowl. Cooper Kupp, arguably best wide receiver in the league. But for The win, I'm kind of flip-flopping on. I'm still thinking about it. It's going to be tough to see because obviously injuries can happen. But I would say for right now, I'd probably give it back to the Rams.
Wow, back to back. My Super Bowl prediction is the same as yours. I have Bills and the Bucks, but I have the Bucks winning. I got Brady winning another one. I just think if Godwin comes back healthy, Mike Evans, Russell Gage, if Fournette is back in shape, their defense is still going to be insane. I think they can run through the NFC. I think they'll beat the Rams, but I would not be surprised if someone knocks off the Rams before they even get to them.
Right.
I could see someone, sleeping the Rams, even like someone like the 49ers, seeing them in the first round, or, the Vikings. You never know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Football is crazy.
I think now it's huge with the expanded playoffs and everything.
Right.
I mean, only that one team gets the bye, so I mean, there's an extra round that you got to really worry about, and that lower seed team, people overlook them and everything. I don't know if the 49ers will make it. I think that it's going to be, they're a very good team. I think the whole situation with Debo kind of might have played a big factor into who he wants at quarterback. Is Trey Lance actually ready? Is he upset with Jimmy Garoppolo? But I definitely agree that somebody can knock the Rams off early if they overlook them, for sure.
Yeah. So, we could jump into the next one, and we can kind of just like run through these. So we're just going to go through some, our top 10 per, players for positions. And we'll start with the wide receiver, which I think is the deepest position in all of football. It's probably the most talented it's been in a long time over the past couple years. So I'll start with my top 10 wide receivers today. I got Devontae Adams at 1, Cooper Kupp 2, Justin Jefferson 3, Stephon Diggs 4, Tyreek Hill 5, Jamar Chase 6, Mike Evans 7, Keenan Allen 8, D-Hop 9 if healthy, and then also Michael Thomas being healthy. I have him at 10. If not, with, say, give or take one of those guys, my honorable mention for that top 10 would be Terry McLaurin.
Word.
It's tough. I think I agree with Devontae, number 1. I think he's consensus number 1. 2, I got Kupp, Triple Crown winner. It's tough to say he's not right there, if not 1A, 1B. Justin Jefferson 3, Jamar Chase 4. Tyreek Hill, I put 5. I think his numbers dip a little bit with Tua, which is obviously warranted because Tua is just not that guy, I don't think. Diggs, I got 6. Keenan Allen 7. AJ Brown 8. Number 9, I got DK. 10, I want to put D-Hop, but the suspension obviously hurts him, and he did not have a good year last year. So I have him and Mike Evans, kind of like a 10A, 10B. But I would probably just give it to D-Hop purely based off of talent. But Evans, I think, is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
His stats are unbelievable. I think he's had 1,000 yards every single year. Yeah. He's so underrated.
You still have DK in the top 10, losing Russell Wilson?
Just talent-wise.
Really?
He's another guy like Waddle. I mean, he's so physically powering that I think he's another guy that could take a hitch and take it 80 yards for a touchdown. He's probably one of the best red zone threats in all of football. He just got a big contract, so I think he's out to prove that he's worth that, especially playing with Drew Lock. He's like, look, I know that the talent's down. Let me show you that it wasn't all just Russell Wilson. I'm actually that guy. I shouldn't have gone in the second round. He obviously still has that chip on his shoulder. He was kind of annoyed that he got dropped into that second round instead of being the top pick because everybody was like, oh, he doesn't really run well. He doesn't run routes well. He's kind of just a big body guy. He's just looking to overpower people, but he's one of the more complete receivers in today's game.
Yeah.
Word. I have the same. My top 7 is the same exact as Zach's. So I got Devontae 1, Kupp 2, Jefferson 3, Diggs 4, Hill 5, Chase 6, Evans 7. Then I have Debo at 8, DK at 9, and then I have Keenan at 10. Honorable mention is DeAndre Hopkins.
Cool. Yeah, I mean a quick segment, right? Is it too late to rule out Odell being a top 10 wide receiver?
Is he gonna miss any of the season?
I would assume. I mean, he tore his ACL in the Super Bowl.
I don't think he's been a top 10 receiver for a while.
Really?
I mean, if he comes back
for a while
and he's actually healthy,
it's close.
I mean, yeah, he
balled
out when he was in LA. So
I watch a lot of podcast, football, like The Pivot and I Am Athlete. And right now they're going around to training camps, and they're asking a lot of players, like, oh, what's your top – a lot of receivers, what's y'all top 5? Odell's been in a lot of players' top 5 wide receiver, selections. I don't know if that's based off just, like, respect of, like, what Odell has done and what he's been. And I guess, like – because a lot of these receivers are young, and they looked up to Odell, when they were coming up in college.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I mean, if they're talking talent and just, pure skill at the wide receiver position, a lot of them had Odell in the top 5. Cooper Kupp had Odell 5, and Cooper Kupp didn't even put himself in the top 5.
No, not a lot of guys.
I know he's very
a lot of
humble.
guys don't do that though. Yeah,
you'd be surprised. Jamar Chase said that he's up there. He's 2. Who else was up there? Keenan Allen said he's the best.
Yeah.
So
it's just like I feel like that's just like
he's also his
player's personality.
Yeah.
Like Cooper Kupp's the type of guy who's like, I'm all right.
Very, very humble guy.
Yeah.
Very humble.
You guys want to get into running backs now?
Yeah, for sure.
Start it off.
Word. So top 10 running backs in the NFL today. I got JT 1, Derrick Henry 2, Dalvin Cook 3, Chubb 4, McCaffrey 5, just because of injury. Alvin 6. I got Joe Mixon 7, Najee Harris 8, Austin Eckler 9, and then I got Zeke at 10. I'm not like loving that pick, but right now, off of name and everything, I'll give it to him. I'll put him at 10.
Yeah.
Although honestly, his running mate might be better than him, to be honest.
Might be.
Pollard, yeah.
Tony Pollard is nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tony
he is.
Pollard is nice.
He is tough.
For me, I got Taylor 1, Henry 2, CMC 3 with an asterisk around it because obviously he needs to be healthy. But if he is healthy, he's a guy who could go for 1,000. So he's one of the most dynamic players in football. 4, I got Chubb, probably the best pure runner in the entire league. Cook, I got 5, Kamara 6, Eckler 7, Mixon 8, Zeke 9, Aaron Jones 10. I think it's possible that Aaron Jones falls off because I think he's going to split a lot of time with A.J. Dillon. Who's proven that he's able to catch the ball at the backfield. So there's really not that argument that, Aaron Jones is going to at least get all the third down touches. I don't know for sure if that's going to be a thing, especially now that Devontae's gone. They're going to need to use everybody as much as they can because there's a lot of targets to go around.
My top 10, I have Derrick Henry 1. If healthy and he comes back from the foot injury, I still think he's the best running back in the NFL. What he was doing before he got hurt was pretty insane. Not that Jonathan Taylor wasn't, but could be 1A, 1B. Mm-hmm. So 1, I have Derrick Henry. 2, Jonathan Taylor. 3, Christian McCaffrey, if healthy. 4, Dalvin Cook, another guy that has to stay healthy. 5, I have Chubb. 6, Kamara. 7, I have Joe Mixon. 8, I have Najee Harris. 9, I have Saquon Barkley. And 10, I have DeAndre Swift. And then Aaron Jones is right on the cusp there. But
yeah,
like
I forgot
you said,
about Aaron Jones, to be honest.
Yeah, but like you said, A.J.
Dillon,
Dillon, he's going to share a lot of time with him, and they're going to split carries. So I don't think he'll get the workload that he's used to getting. But I think also, a lot of people probably would rule Saquon not a top 10 running back anymore. But I think this year, with the improvements made on the offensive line and Brian Dable, I think Saquon is going to shock a lot of people this year.
Yeah, I think it's. I've seen that it's already a tough transition for the guy at Alabama that you guys drafted. I think that he's had some up and downs. It's tough switching from the left side to the right side. So if he is able to kind of get it going, I could see Saquon stepping up and being that guy again. It also is contingent on the quarterback play because if you're able to just load the box with 8-9 guys, not many running backs can be able to get through that. So, but I could definitely see Saquon creeping back up into that 10, 9, 8 range.
Yeah.
QBs?
Next one we'll go through quarterbacks. This one's pretty easy. There's like maybe 12 or 13 guys that deserve to be on this list that could, flirt with that 8, 9, 10 spot. So we could just run through them quick. I got Mahomes 1, Josh Allen 2, Tom Brady 3, Aaron Rodgers 4, Russell Wilson 5, Justin Herbert 6, Joe Burrow 7, Matt Stafford 8. If playing, Deshaun Watson 9, and then I have Derek Carr 10. If you had to take Deshaun Watson out of that list, I would throw in either Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson right around that 9-10 range.
Word.
For me, I got Mahomes 1, Rodgers 2, Allen 3, Herbert 4, Brady at 5, Burrow 6, Russell Wilson 7, Stafford 8, Lamar 9, Kyler 10. If Deshaun plays, I could probably see him, just because we haven't seen him in so long, I'll put him at 9, bump Kyler out, and put Lamar at 10.
Yeah.
Obviously, he hasn't played in a while. He's got to get acclimated to a new team, new system, new everything, get back into game shape. But he could end up, if he's that guy again, if he's the same exact Deshaun, he could jump up to that 6-7 range.
Yeah.
Word. I go back and forth on 1 and 2, honestly. I'm going to go Josh Allen 1, Mahomes 2, Brady 3, Rodgers 4, Herbert 5, Burrow 6, Stafford 7, Dak 8, Kyler 9, and then I'm going to go Russ 10.
Wow.
I think Josh Allen's going to have an MVP type year. And it's not even like, it's almost like because I think Mahomes and the team is going to fall off, it's making me give that edge to Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Without, like, Josh Allen has Stephon Diggs, and he's got Jameson Crowder, and then he's got that coaching staff.
Gabriel Davis, yeah.
Yeah, Gabe Davis. Like, everything about that team, I feel like they're going to just dominate this year.
The running back room is tough, too.
Exactly. Yeah.
They drafted a bunch of young running backs, Singletary, Zach Moss, and they just got Dalvin Cook's brother. Yeah, James Cook.
Yeah, like, I just think, like,
do they have a guy McKenzie, too? Isaiah McKenzie,
I think he's a wide receiver.
Oh yeah.
I think he's mainly a kick returner.
He'll do both though. Like they'll utilize him in that
like that,
X, in that extra, that Z role.
I'm blanking on their tight end's name.
Dawson Knox.
Yeah.
Dawson Knox. Like, they just have a squad, and I think, like, Mahomes. I mean, he's got Juju, and, like, I think that team is just gonna struggle a little bit, not because of Mahomes, but because they just kind of don't have as much talent. I mean, they obviously have Kelsey there still, but so that's why I give that edge to Josh Allen.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump into the tight end position, which is probably about, I guess for the elite guys, I'd say 6 or 7 deep. So, I mean, 5 is plenty to choose our top 5.
For sure.
1, I got Travis Kelce. 2, I have Darren Waller. 3, I have Mark Andrews. 4, I have TJ Hawkinson. And then 5, I have Kyle Pitts. The only reason I have Pitts below Hawkinson is Pitts didn't do very great last year with Calvin Ridley and Matt Ryan. And I know it was a rookie year, but his expectations were, like, insane. And he had a solid rookie year, but it wasn't – I don't think he reached the expectations that were set on him coming out of Florida, right? And I think Hawkinson is really underrated. A lot of people don't, give him the credit he deserves, and Goff likes him a lot. It seems like Goff really tries to find him, especially in the red zone. So I'd say that would be, the only reason I have Hawkinson over Pitts, just because I'm not a Mariota guy. So I don't think he's going to get – I think he's going to get double-teamed a lot this year. No Russell Gage, no Calvin Ridley. I mean, you got, Drake London.
Who got injured in his first game.
Right. So – it's I don't know. It might be a lot of double teams coming.
My biggest problem with your list is that you left out George Kittle. I think that's so tough. I think he's probably the most complete tight end in football.
I agree with that, but I'm basing it off of this year, and I don't know if Trey Lance is going to be able to work with a tight end. Usually quarterbacks and tight ends have to develop some type of relationship and some type of chemistry going in, right? Like, it's not – usually tight ends aren't, the best route runners where they're just going to create all this separation. A lot of it's
Kittle is. Kittle's that guy.
A lot of it's timing, and a lot of it is reps, right? So,
but they've had reps. It's not like he's a rookie though. And another thing for young quarterbacks is tight ends could be security blankets, because typically if you got one as good as George Kittle, he's probably not going to be as guarded as tight by a linebacker, and he might be too big for a lot of safeties. I
mean, he can't stay on the field.
Well, I mean, obviously, that's another thing. But talent-wise, assuming that everybody's healthy, I got Kittle top 3. For me, it's Kelce, Andrews, Kittle, Pitts, and Waller. I might flip-flop with Waller and Pitts as the season goes on, but it's tough for Waller. Now that Devontae's there, that's a lot of targets taken away from him and Renfro.
I think it helps. I think having Devontae helps because a lot of times Darren Waller was getting double teamed all game.
Yeah, but
and that's why Renfro cooked up so much in the in that 5 to 12 yard range in those under routes because Darren Waller was taking a safety with him every single time.
Right. Yeah.
Now you can't do that. So now you got Waller on one side because a lot of the times he even lines up at receiver.
Receiver, right.
Now you got Adams and then you got Renfro in the slot and you still have Zay Jones as a deep threat.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be tough because a linebacker cannot guard Waller whatsoever.
No.
And then, like you said, a safety or a corner is usually way too small. So you're going to kind of have to pick your poison. And, I mean, Carr and Waller, when, the year prior, not last season, but 2 years ago, Waller was insane.
Right, yeah. No, I agree. I mean, like I said, I might even put Waller at 4. I just think for tight ends, at least for me, I always take into account your ability to block.
Yeah.
So that definitely helps. And with the way that San Francisco's team is set up, they run the ball so much, not just with their running backs, but with Deebo Samuel. I think having Kittle on the end of that line and being able to be a lead blocker or seal somebody off and create a running lane really helps. And I think that's where he separates himself from Waller. So, but I might have over-evaluated Pitts a little bit because I'm kind of regretting that. But either way, I just think Kittle has been kind of like forgotten about because of his injury history.
Yeah.
I got Kelsey 1, Kittle 2, Mark Andrews 3, Darren Waller 4, Dalton Schultz 5, and then honorable mention is Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
I just like Schultz a lot.
Yeah. He was good last year.
I'm not mad at that pick. I like Schultz a lot too. I wanted the Jets to get him so badly.
So did I.
But they picked up with some good picks. With did you see Ruckert's block in the preseason game?
No, I saw he scored a touchdown.
He absolutely pancaked the linebacker, like cleaned him.
He's good. He's legit.
He's very good.
By the end of the year, I would not be surprised if he's a starting tight end.
Yeah, I think C.J. Uzama is.
I like Uzama, but I think Rucker, he could be that guy.
Yeah, and people sleep on Tyler Conklin. He made a lot of good plays in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I forgot that he's on the Jets, to be honest.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. People forget. And Uzama is more of a receiving threat, whereas Conklin can be a good receiver. He's more of like a slip back kind of tight end where he's not on the front side. He's just kind of like running a backside drag. And if a linebacker gets caught up running the other way, he might get open and get like a nice 20-yard gain or something like that. But, man, Dalton Schultz would have been such a nice ad for the Jets.
He's just such a good pass catcher, and he's just, even after the catch, he just makes some plays. I'm like, that dude is a tight end.
Yeah, he's nice, bro.
He's just nice.
Yeah, no, he was showing flashes of Jason Witten.
Yeah. And then they got rid of Cooper, so it's just more opportunity for him.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I guess we could just wrap up with our fantasy sleepers.
Mm-hmm.
Go 3 guys each and just guys that we think are going to be some valuable fantasy assets that you can probably get a little later in the draft. My first guy, I've been talking about him all episode, is Saquon. I've been doing a lot of mock drafts lately at my pick, whatever, and he's been falling into the 3rd round, which is pretty crazy. If this guy does what we all know he can do, I mean, he has top 5 RB potential, to finish the fantasy year. So to get someone like Saquon in the late 2nd, early 3rd round, I think is pretty, it's a risk that I'm willing to take. And I took him last year in the late 1st round, and it obviously came back to bite me. But I think this year might be a little different. And then the other 2 guys I have is Michael Thomas, who's been falling in the 5th or the 6th round. And, I mean, this guy has top 10 potential as well if Jameis Winston is, putting it on, on time and on target. And then the last guy that I saw falling really deep at the running back position, who we've only seen 1 year, and he was pretty great, is J.K. Dobbins. I think, with him and Lamar, that whatever running back is going to be playing with Lamar, he's going to get 1,000. He's going to get close to 1,000 yards. He's going to get a lot of touches. They're a run-first team. And I think J.K. Dobbins was very promising his rookie year, and unfortunately he tore his ACL, but they said he's looking good in the preseason. He's looking healthy. And
he should make it back week 1.
Yeah.
I remember that they were kind of questioning whether he might be back or not, but Looks like he will be.
Yeah.
And another guy, Gus Edwards. He
Another guy, yeah.
Yeah, he could take a lot of carries. He's definitely a handcuff guy. If you're going to take J.K. Dobbins, definitely try and get Gus Edwards as a handcuff. For me, I got Jerry Jeudy. I think getting Russell Wilson, he could probably take off. I mean, there's just going to be so many shootouts in the West this year. I think that Jerry Jeudy is probably going to be a perfect wide receiver to match up with Russell Wilson. Next, I got Miles Sanders. I know that they got Kenneth Gainwell, but Miles Sanders just got so unlucky last year that I think people are undervaluing him a little bit just because he couldn't get in the end zone.
Well, also they were not using him enough. Like, he was like averaging at least at one point, like midway through the season, I'm pretty sure over 5 yards a carry.
Yeah.
And they just weren't using him. Like you said, they were giving all those red zone touches to
Boston Scott. Like,
so frustrating. I had him in like 2 leagues last year, and it was so frustrating.
Yeah.
So frustrating.
So yeah, I got Miles Sanders as my second guy. The third guy is Tyler Boyd. They got a loaded team over there, but I think he's clearly the third best guy on that team at the wide receiver position. But that doesn't really mean much, just with how many 3 wide receiver sets that they use in Cincinnati. I think he's developed a nice rapport with Joe Burrow. He should be able to kind of get into that 25 range if there's he could hop up even to 15 if there's an injury to either Chase or Higgins. He's got that kind of talent where he's able to just ball out on any given week. So I got him at 3.
Cool.
My first sleeper is A.J. Dillon. I think that he is gonna have a good year, and I think that he's gonna get the red zone touches. And with Aaron Rodgers as quarterback, I just think they're gonna have a lot of opportunity to score. My second guy is Christian Kirk. I know a lot of us made fun of the Jags for like overpaying him, but I think he's just going to be someone that T-Law just kind of goes to, and then he'll have his trust. So I think he's just going to get a lot of targets this year. And then my last guy is Gabe Davis. I picked Josh Allen for MVP. I just think that they're both going to – I think the Bills are just going to go off this year, and I think that he'll reap the benefits of that. So he's my third guy.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's a good episode.
Sure.
Definitely going to have more football episodes to come, and we'll probably be bouncing back and forth between basketball, football. Our next one will be football, obviously, but after that, we'll probably go basketball, football, and then
we'll be getting close to like NBA season starting.
Right.
As well.
Yeah.
Early, mid-October.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok of a girl. She was ranking all the theme songs for she had CBS, Fox, ESPN, NBC, and NFL Network. And I mean, every single one just gets me going, gets me hyped. I can't wait. But CBS just hits different, bro. Yeah. I mean, especially just being a Jets fan, that's the first thing. That's also the first thing you hear on Sunday, because obviously you got Fox at 4 o'clock, got Game of the Week, CBS.
Yeah.
But CBS's theme song just hits different, bro.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be a crazy football season.
It's
this is
going to
be
fun,
one of the most highly anticipated seasons, especially, like we said, with like the AFC West and what's going to happen in the AFC North and
all the player movements and everything.
Yeah,
Devontae going to a new team.
Duo
Deshaun
changes,
Watson showing up.
So this should be exciting, but I'm glad, we'll be talking about it weekly.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Good episode, boys.